Hello, this is Tilda. I have spent this weekend in Helsinki and I have to say that it was an amazing experience. I had the opportunity to sit down and speak with Alexei Krasnozhon as well as with Carreira and Ponomarenko. I also got to ask a couple of questions to Emmi Peltonen right after her stunning short program. So here, this is Tilda. I'm here with Alexei Krasnozhon, who's just come up from his final practice before the men's short program.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about today?
I feel pretty good. Today is I guess a big day because this is like my first official senior Grand Prix, so I'm excited and I feel pretty good considering probably today was the best practice that I've done so far this week, so I'm excited.
So you said this is your first senior season. So how different does it feel to transition from juniors to seniors?
I think, it is difficult, but the easy part about transitioning from junior to senior rather than transitioning from in junior is that once you're in senior, there's really nowhere else to go. So you're constantly improving, and that kind of makes me happy is that you start, but you don't have to move up a next level. So really, you just keep perfecting what you can while you can. And I think that's different, realizing that you're at the top and now you gotta get to the really, really top. So I think that's kind of cool, and it just takes time.
What are the major differences between the Junior Grand Prix and the Senior Grand Prix?
Okay, well, the first difference I say is that everyone in Junior Grand Prix is they're hustling way too hard. They're everyone wants to beat each other, and everyone's young and just wants to go out there and let's go. Where on the Senior Grand Prix, it's more calm and it's more of it's I don't want to say the old guys, but I want to say the guys that are more experienced. So they are taking this, they're saving their energy for the performance of the Junior Grand Prix. It's just a bunch of kids, and they just, they're excited and they want to compete, and it's just funny to see that how you get to the top level and everyone's just calm.
Mm. Are there any major lessons you're taking with you from juniors?
I think in juniors, once you get to the top of the juniors, the biggest lesson that you learn is that everything is the process. And in junior, a lot of people say that for me, it's how is it coming from the top of the juniors into the seniors? I think that when I started in junior, I was not very close to the top. I was alright in 2015, and the next year I made it to the final, and the next year I won the final. And I think in senior, I want to say this is the season for me just to skate and to see, kind of adapt, to see what I need to improve on, and then really kind of get together the plan for next season. So I'm not very nervous, or I guess not that I don't care about my results, but I just want to put out my best performance. And for me, it's more of the performance that I put out there rather than the place of the score that I get.
So you recently switched coaches. So the new ones are Alexei Letov and Olga Ganicheva, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that transition? Has it changed anything in your skating and your training?
I think that for me, I was very happy to switch coaches because I wanted something different. I think that Peter and Darlene are great, but unfortunately, I wanted to be somewhere else. And so for me, what was different is that I came back to what the Russian way of training, the Russian technique, and I think I really like it because for me, what Olga and Alexei have done as of right now is a lot, because I started training very recently, I say 6 weeks. And for me to, in 6 weeks, do what I'm capable of doing right now is a very, very good result. And I think not only they kind of guide me through jumps, but they also help me guide through my adulthood as I'm becoming an adult. And I start living on my own, and it really helped me kind of figure out how to train, how to handle myself, and really help me pace myself to be on the right path to the success.
So what is it in the Russian style of coaching that you like?
I think that, to me, I got used to the American a little bit way, but I think that the Russian style, and that's how my parents are, there's no I can't, or I'm tired. It's like you just go and do it. Like like you get on the ice and you trust the coach 100%, and you don't say no. Like you do what you're told and you get the results. And I think for me, that's what I like. That's where, in the back of my head, I know that I trust them. So if they tell me that's gonna happen, then I know that's gonna happen as long as I do what they tell me to do. And so that I like that.
Yeah. So it's 4 years now until the next Olympics. Do you have a long-term plan for those 4 years?
Yeah, I think like for me the biggest thing is, first of all, I want to see how the new judging system plays out because it's a little bit confusing what you saw in the Grand Prix and what you saw at the Junior Grand Prix. Because in the Junior Grand Prix, the new system really haven't changed much. I don't know why, because like you look at the scores and like those guys would be doing no quads in a short program because they're not allowed, and they'll be getting like 80 points of like high 70s, where last week and the week before, like Skate America, Skate Canada, the guys were doing quads, and for some reason they were getting like 78, and clean programs, great programs. And so like maybe kind of see and adapt to how to get the most scores. And I think that for me the biggest goal is to actually get the consistent quads, and it's kind of been difficult with my injury because that's kind of like it's kind of stopped me from training in the summer, so I kind of had to really learn fast. Not only learn fast, I had to like a lot of people don't. I didn't even realize that whenever I got back on the ice, I thought, I'm gonna get on the ice, do a couple of laps, and do everything. And I got on the ice and I couldn't do anything. Couldn't even land triples, right? So for me, like I had to recover my jumps. I had to get them back to consistent level, and then I had to learn the quad. So I think for me, the biggest goal, especially for this season and long term, is learn as many quads as I can while staying injury free, and also working on incorporating good choreography, good transitions, and stepping up my program components and incorporating that with quads together.
Yeah, because last season you attempted quad loop and quad salco, and now you planned quad salco for this competition. How do you feel about your consistency with these jumps? Are you training the quad loop again, for example?
So as far as the quad salco, it's really gotten close. I've fallen a couple clean ones. I land a couple, I land most of them at 70%. As far as the loop, we don't really practice loop that much because of my foot, and it kind of stops me from that because also I have to practice my combos, flip, and lots. And whenever I do quad loop, it kind of irritates my foot, and not so much pain, but my foot just can't, at the moment, it can't handle that much of pressure. So we're kind of working more of a triple loop and kind of getting it more up in the air and preparing for the quad. But as far as actually doing the quad, very careful with that. So we tried it a couple of times and it's been pretty good. But I have Alexei and Olga wants to make sure that we staying with the plan for the injury, so I have no pain.
Are you planning any new elements this season?
Maybe quad toe.
Okay.
So that's been kind of discussion, which is really fun because Alexei and over there, like Alexei was like, quad toe is very easy. Everyone does. And then I started doing my triple toe. He goes, oh, you can do it easy. But for some reason, I'm scared of the quad toe. So I tried it a couple of times, and it was pretty good. And like I'm like, okay, like I can actually do it. Like, and he puts me on the pole harness or something like that, and I'll do it clean. And then I go do it on my own, and he goes, when you're scared, you can't do it. And I'm like, I don't know, there's something about this jump. So maybe if I can get over that and trust myself to do it, maybe quad toe would be my new element and nobody would think that I would do.
Is it the force of the takeoff that is?
I don't know. I just don't like triple toes or quad toes. I from my childhood, toe is not my thing, but I guess I have to like it.
Okay, so final question. You talked about the rule changes before. Do you have any opinion about them, and has it changed the way you look at including more quads in your programs, for example?
I think that the rules, it's kind of like some people don't like it, some people like the new rules, but to me it's very interesting because it really, really changed the sport. So now that we're looking into this, it's much easier to lose, and it really comes down to you cannot fall and you cannot make mistakes. And I think that when you look at the past 2 Olympics, the gold medal, most of the podium guys did not skate clean programs, and I think that's something that they're trying to get rid of. I mean, like you're looking at 2014, there's 2 or 3 falls, I believe, for Yuzuru in the long program.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he did quarto and
Which
quad
is, so like with the old system, all you had to do is, if you have the drums, if you rotate them fully, you would be able to afford those mistakes. And I think for the skating and for skating to be popular in general, that was kind of hard for people to understand. Like, how can one guy fall a couple of times and beat somebody who didn't fall? But it's only us here, so, well, like, he did quads, he didn't do anything, like, we understand. And I think that kind of interesting now, because now what you have to do is you have to go out there and skate a clean program, and really they don't want. I think that the whole idea of this new system is that nobody wants anyone to take the risks and do what you can do at your best. And that's what makes it interesting, because at some point, let's say right now some people are trying quads like me or any skater, right? And eventually, like you do them, sometimes you fall and you lose a lot of points. But once you get used to them and you start perfecting them, you can get huge scores. But I think that right now, it's like, if you fall, that's like a huge mistake. So you can either go safe, with the new system, you can either go safe and always be like ready to beat somebody who possibly could fall, or you can try stuff and kind of catch up, and once you can do that, you'll be unbeatable. So I think that this system opens the possibilities for some of the skaters.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, and good luck today.
Thank you.
Hi, so great job today. How does it feel to be here in Finland and skate at the Grand Prix event?
It's amazing, and at this rink where I train most of every week,
Yeah.
it's like my home rink besides my club rink, but it was amazing to skate here, and I'm so happy that so many people came to watch, and just I cracked like a genuine smile out there too.
How does it feel compared to skating in a different country?
Probably just like I could go home,
Yeah.
just chill at home and then go to the rink. Probably that difference, but this competition is like really well made in Helsinki, so it feels like Europeans or worlds, so it's really good, like training wise.
Thank you very much and good luck. Hello, this is Tilda. I'm here with Christina Carreira and Anthony Ponomarenko. So, first of all, congrats on your rhythm dance. You're currently in 4th place. It was really good. So I was just wondering how you felt after your performance and now for tonight, the free dance.
We were a little disappointed yesterday because the skate didn't go as well as we wanted to. We've been practicing it better than what we competed. So hopefully today will go a little better.
Okay.
We're still really happy with how it went. We're thankful to compete at this level, and at the Grand Prix, it's our first one, so we're really excited to be here.
Yeah. So you had a very successful last season with the wins on the Junior Grand Prix and silver, the final, and Junior Worlds. So what goals do you have going into your first senior season?
Well, this season we want to show that we can compete at the senior level because it's a completely different competition than the junior. And we want to put out strong performances at every competition.
I agree what she said. Senior's tough. Senior's a completely different animal, or a ladder, I should say. So we just want to put out great performances and show that we can compete at the senior level and we can be mature.
Thanks. So I know that the pattern for the rhythm dance is quite long and complex this season. So I was wondering if you could tell me some challenges you faced with that.
Well, the first couple of months we couldn't get through it, so that was a big challenge. But now I really like it. It's probably my favorite pattern that we've done so far.
Yeah, it took like countless hours for us to just even like skate a single pattern. But like now skating it, we feel really comfortable. But like she said, it's one of our favorite compulsory dances. But it was tough in the beginning. It took us like 3 months to get through one pattern.
But you did pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how you developed the rhythm dance and sort of how you feel about the theme of it.
So we picked the first piece of music because it was created to that. So we knew that every move would go well to the music, so that would increase our GOE. And second piece is a piece Igor's been listening to for years, and he's one of his couples to skate to it. So I'm really happy it's us.
We worked with world champion tango dancers to really get like the feeling going. Our first part of the season, we worked with them every Thursday, and that kind of gave us the feeling of everything.
And about your free dance, which you will skate later tonight. So the music is to Tokyo Myers, and it's a selection of different songs. So I was wondering how you chose that and sort of your inspiration and your feelings of it.
I've been following Tokyo Myers for quite a while now, so like when he came out with his album, we thought right away to skate to it. We listened to a lot of his pieces, and Claire de Lune was a big one in the album. And just because it hasn't been able to be skated to since the new rules don't allow no tempo songs, we decided because this one has a tempo, we can skate to it, and it's cool because it's Claire de Lune, and it's just such a famous piece.
Yes, okay. So it was earlier this year that Pascal teamed up with Igor, right? So I was just wondering if that changed anything in your training environment or how did it feel?
Well, we work with him every day. He did a lot of our choreography for both programs. I really like him and Igor working together. They're a really good team, and he's really fun to work with.
Yeah, they get along so well. He just creates this like positive vibe in the ice rink, so it's really nice to work with him, and he did contribute a lot into our free dance and short dance this year.
Okay. Well, I think that's everything I had.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you.
And good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to also listen to our episode on the Grand Prix Helsinki.